Hey there everybody, I'm Robert and welcome back to Tonchai's Basement. In today's video I'm going to show you how I created this studio in my basement and created Tonchai's Basement. Let's take a look. So as you can see, this is my home studio, which I've been planning to build for a really long time now, and this is the empty room where it all began and became this really cool place to be creative in, and of course became my studio Tonchai's Basement. First of all, I need to tell you that I never had my own home studio or music room where I could play my guitars and be creative freely. So I was planning to build this room for years and years, and finally I ended up making a decision and transforming a room in my basement to, for myself and my music projects and video projects, as you can see as well. Yeah, I was also looking to build it on a budget, so I didn't really spend. I was looking for solutions to not spend a lot of money into it, and I first had to cover all these ugly 80s brown tiles because it was, first of all, not good acoustically, because it reflected very much. So I found in the local hardware store some really good gray colored carpets, which I laid down here, as you can see, and for the skirting boards I found some gray adhesive tape which camouflaged these brown tiles on the edges as well. So yeah, I was pretty happy how it turned out, and it was a really good solution for me. You can see that I had to adjust a little bit, but it turned out pretty good. Now the next step will be to bring in the acoustic treatment. So for the acoustic treatment I found some budget-friendly solutions, the acoustic absorbers and diffusers, which are actually pretty good. It was a puzzle. I first had to sort all these parts by labels to know which part is which, and then use the assembly manual to put it together as it was supposed to, and it actually turned out good, but it took some time. Then of course you have to apply the glue to these absorbers and diffusers, then leave them to set the glue for like 5 minutes, and then apply them to the wall. Of course you cannot see it here, but I put some markers on the walls where these tiles should go, so I'm not just putting them randomly. And so once you put it on them on the walls after these 5 minutes, they immediately stick there. First I put the tiles on the back walls because they are less visible there, so if I would make a mistake then it would be less visible. But then afterwards, when I saw that everything was okay with them, I continued with the front wall, and of course I put the bass straps first, one on each side, then the second row, and then of course the third row. There is like 40 centimeters left open below to the floor, and it doesn't have to go all the way to the floor. It's the most important that the upper side is covered. Then followed by the EPS foam wave-like diffusers on the ceiling. There are also marks on the ceiling previously made that you cannot see on the record. Then one of the most eye-catching things I had to apply here, these attractive absorbers, and I wasn't sure how it's going to turn out because I first wanted to apply these first 3 parts, and then I had to think how I'm going to apply the rest. I only had 6 of these absorbers, so I knew I had to use 2 of them on the side wall next to the table, and the last one I decided to use in the middle here, making that T-shape, which is turned out to be pretty attractive here. I had 2 others, which thicker ones, which I used here next to the door and the window on the side walls, and I had to use all these smaller ones, and decided to use 4 of them here on the both sides of these on the front walls. And I didn't even use the glue, but because they are pretty light I could use these double-sided self-adhesive tape that I used for the carpet, and it was pretty effective. And of course I made measurements to make it symmetrical and to align, and yeah, I was pretty happy how it turned out actually in the end. So all the acoustic panels are on the walls, and actually it turned out much better than I expected, so I'm pretty happy with the result. And as you can hear, the sound is much better in this room now. Yes, it actually turned out really nice, and actually turned out better than I expected, and to be honest, my eyes were just tearing up at this point because I was so happy, and I was just starting to realize that this thing is actually happening and I'm going to get my own home studio. And you know, just look at it. This room is just stunning, and it looks like a room from Star Wars. Then I brought in here this Amazon Basics table, which I actually found on eBay, somebody giving it away for free in the village next to our town. I'm going to drill some holes here on the walls for some guitar holders, because one of the most important things will come here, my guitars of course. Yeah, I had to protect the carpet first and put the vacuum cleaner here to be ready, and then drill the holes, put the guitar holders on them, and currently 5 of them. Hopefully this number will grow in time. So these are my beauties, and you know, I love each one of them, and I'm planning to do a dedicated video for each guitar that I have, to share their story, how they ended up with me, and what we went through together. And of course, just look at them, they are stunning, and they are here on the wall in my home studio. What else should I tell? I mean, just look at it, beautiful. And in this empty place here in the back side of the room, I had the perfect place for this unused hanging drawer, which we didn't use in our living room anymore. Yeah, it is. I just found it useful here, you know, just to hide some cables, tools, and you know, a vitrine for, you know, lighting up some pedals or things like that. Yeah, I like need cable management, so I had to hide the cables as well. And then at this point I started to bring in the real studio equipment, speaker stands and the studio monitors. I've got these Behringer Truth monitors, which are actually pretty good for the price. They are, you know, affordable, budget friendly, but they are very good. So this is my old Marshall, the GCM 2000, and my workhorse Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. Then of course some studio stuff, the M40 monitors, and you know, cable management. I had to apply the cables and you know, connect them to the amp and then to the speakers. Yeah, I recorded everything step by step. The Captor X, which I use for recording the tube amp sound, because that's what I like. I'm a purist, and yeah, tubes are everything for me. Some ambient lighting, which I actually took from our house, because when I bought them my wife said these lights are ugly, they do not fit in the house, you can take them into the basement and use them in your studio. So yeah, I did it, and they are perfect for here. Then the audio interface, the UAD Apollo X, and the heart of the studio, the MacBook of course. I guess that is it. I really like what I'm seeing here. I am very satisfied how it turned out. So that's it folks, that is my home studio, and that is where Tonči's Basement was born, and hopefully I'm going to do some videos here, reviews, music, and of course have fun and be creative. Of course I need to bring in some more gear, and yeah, you know, it's ready to go. thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I like to ask you to support my channel by hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that we could grow into a community and chase some tones together. And remember, the perfect tone is always just within reach.